Yeah, I don't know what was going on. Guess too much powerful energy, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna record it and I'll just kind of edit it and then send you the
Okay.
piece that I'll share.
All
So
right, let me mute my phone. Okay, sounds
and
good.
good. And today we're talking about I want to maximize my time with you. I said I'm getting started quick. We're talking about unlocking the unlimited possibilities in business and life. Oh my goodness. Welcome, 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 listeners. I have such an awesome woman that I have had an opportunity to meet virtually one day, maybe physically. You have to keep me in tune about that event that you're going to have in January. We're talking about unlocking the unlimited possibilities in business and life with Rochel Lawson. Oh my goodness. She is a speaker, a podcast host. She is a wealth of information. And let me tell you, I want to get going on this because just like I'm interviewing her, y'all, I'm learning too. I plan on just gleaming from all of this information. I'm on your site. I get the emails. So I love the information. You helped me out. Look, I got to give a shout out because when I first met virtually and I was talking to you, we just kind of had some unpacking time to talk personally. And I was telling you about my hot flashes. Oh my gosh, I don't even remember hot flashes. Oh my God. And did you know that today is some National Menopause Day or something like that? I said, oh yeah, this is perfect timing because Rochel has definitely helped me out, y'all. So without further ado, Rochel, thank you so much. Rochel Marie, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's so funny. I mean, but that's a real thing, right? If you ever suffering from hot flashes,
Oh,
it
it's
is
real.
not fun. It's
It's
not
real.
fun.
It's real. So, and
Mhm.
happy menopausal day for everybody every woman who's having to deal with it. I mean, the journey can be adventurous, but hey, hook up. Why don't you hook up with Rochel Marie and she can tell you about this very awesome product that has totally revolutionized my life. I don't have him anymore. I don't have him anymore, y'all. So I mean, I have like a new span on life. I'm like, because I wouldn't have this
Okay.
sweatshirt on. I wouldn't have it on. I'll be in a tank top.
In your bra, if you could get away with it, right?
I'm telling you, right, right, right. Okay. First question.
Yes.
How can we identify and tap into our full potential in both business and life?
Well, you have to have your destiny imagined, visualized, and written down as your design for your life. So, destiny by design helps you to unlock the unlimited possibilities in life and business.
Mm.
It's starting with where you are right now and visualizing where it is that you want to be. So, for instance, if it's with your health and well-being and you're having challenges with hot flashes, perfect
Yes.
example. Um, you visualize anybody having challenge, you visualize not having like you visualize
Mhm.
that's your number one thing you see. Like I can actually
Mhm.
go out, have a sweatshirt on, and not know that I'm gonna break out in 2 minutes with this hot flash that's gonna have me looking like I'm a ball of fire in a hot drippy mess, right?
Right.
Um, so that's your vision. You don't want to have that. And then once you have the vision, then it's easy to imagine the steps that you would take to get to the vision. Now, in creating that destiny by design, you also have to visualize that there are going to be some hiccups. There are
Mm.
going to be some challenges. There are going to be
Yeah.
some setbacks. And you can't always tell what they are in advance, but you can make preparations in your design for your destiny so that when that comes, those challenges come up, it doesn't take you on such a whirlwind of a loop that you give up
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
become with a limited mindset. And that happens so easily. But yeah, so that's the beauty of having your destiny by design. And the other thing I want to share is as you ebb and flow through life, it's gonna change. What my destiny was in girl or my early 20s, it wasn't designed, it was by default. I was just
Mm-hmm. That's good.
but
Right.
right. But by the time you start having kids and things, your whole mindset changes. I have kids, you got a business or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
your career professional, very successful, your whole
Mm-hmm.
mindset changes. And so
Mm-hmm.
what you desired when I desired in my late 20s, well, was not what I desired in my late 30s, and
Right.
vice versa, and so on. In my late 40s, I wasn't thinking about, I had different desires. So it evolves. But the beautiful thing about it is it's your design. And you
Yeah.
can change it, you can white stuff out, you can add stuff to it. And you can, as you do this, you can continue to visualize this stuff happening in your life, and it becomes a beautiful, beautiful journey.
Oh, that's good. So, and it always with that vision, you have to keep it before you, because when those setbacks happen, depending on what the setback is, right? It will sometimes it can derail your whole vision or delay it. And sometimes, what was one of your setbacks that kind of did it either delay you or did it kind of derail you and put you on a different path and you're somewhere now where you didn't think you would be?
So, with regards to just having a business and making money, one day I went to the bank to deposit some money into my business account.
Mm-hmm.
And I had, I have a personal banker. So I went to my personal banker and
Mm-hmm.
we had this relationship. She's like, girl, you ain't got no money in you don't have no money in your business account. I'm like, she's like, yeah, girl, you ain't got, it's zero. I'm like, what do you mean? She says, your balance is zero. Yesterday you had this amount. Today it is zero. And so she looked up, and what had happened was the nice Uncle Sam people, that come in and we pay our taxes, and the nice Uncle Sam people had came and cleaned out the bank account for the business because of some back taxes that was owed that we didn't know about.
Wow.
So, I had
Wow.
payroll to meet, I had, liabilities to pay. And I didn't know like what I was gonna do. Fortunately, I said I was going to make a deposit. But at this point,
Mm-hmm.
I'm apprehensive about making the deposit because I didn't want them to snatch that up. I wasn't
Right.
sure.
Right.
What I learned was that they should have notified the company several times before they did that, and we received no notifications. The other
I was
thing,
just going to ask that. I was like, what about notifications?
we didn't receive
Oh,
any notifications. The other thing is, and they didn't go to the accountant either, because sometimes that stuff goes to your accountant. If you haven't said,
mm,
it didn't go to the accountant, receive no notifications either. The other
mm,
thing I learned was not to have all your money in one specific bank account, whether it's personal or business. Business, you got to be strategic and personal, but never have your money in one bank account. Because it definitely can cause some havoc, and it did. But I got through it, and I knew that account receivables that were coming in would take care of it. The whole thing was I was apprehensive. Once I figured out and understood how much was owed, which they had already got all the money they needed, then I knew I could move forward. But that was a definite setback, and it was a definite reality check for me because I didn't have any vision of that ever happening, whether it was a customer or not paying or the
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
tax. I never had that vision in my
mm-hmm.
design.
Yeah.
But girl, it's in there now. It's in there now. And that's one of the things. It's like, yeah, it's hard. It's a hard lesson. And it could be a setback. It could be a huge setback. Because what if I didn't have the receivables? What if I didn't, wasn't going to make a deposit, but going to make a withdrawal, um, I probably wouldn't be in business. I would have had to do some other means, bankruptcy, and try to restructure or something like that. So um, it's good to visualize, of course, the beautiful things and put that in your design. But it's also good to visualize potential challenges, whether it's employees, customers, accounts receivables,
Yeah.
payables, all that kind of visualize what, think of the worst thing that could happen other than they taking all your money and losing. That's the obvious, but, and then try to have a plan or something in there, that you can utilize when and if that challenge comes up upon you.
Yeah, you need the course. That was a quick course correction.
Yes.
I mean, you were coming to make a deposit. I mean, but what if you didn't have, what if you wasn't coming to make a deposit? You were just coming to talk about some other investments or something. And she was like, "Where investments where, honey?" Wow.
Yeah. I mean, there's been many, but that one hits home because it's, I'm all about wellness, wisdom, and wealth. And that's a wealth component, particularly if you're an entrepreneur or, a business owner, or you got big, small, mid-sized, large business, solopreneur, whatever it is. One of the aspects of understanding about unlocking unlimited possibilities is you need to know where you are so you can get to where you want to be.
Oh, that's good. Where am I? Look, where am I?
Exactly.
Well, how do you figure out where you are? I mean, who helps you? What do you tell me? Unpack that.
Me,
Okay.
I definitely can help. For instance, again, going back to the hot flashes, we met. We had this conversation. You were talking about how your husband was getting driven crazy because of the hot flashes, and I was like, "Oh, girl, I got something for that." Bam. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew you wanted to be without those hot flashes, right? You reached out to me and just in conversation, you didn't know me from an apple, right?
Right.
You didn't know what I was telling you for real.
Yeah.
And then you tried it, but you took the faith and you said, I'm gonna try it because this stuff is real. It's no joke, right? You tried it. And then I think in 3 days you text me, girl, I ain't having no fun.
Oh my gosh. I was like, oh my gosh.
And I told
this is amazing.
I said, it's going to take about 30 days for it to get into your system, right? Girl, and I told my sister too, but, and it's like, but again, that, also having a resource that you can reach out to and be like, hey, with regards to your business challenges or whatever it is, sometimes just growing your business.
Yeah.
Pains, so, yeah. I think
growing your business on a budget, and then realize, so back to where going back to unpacking what you said about knowing where you are in order to know where you're going to go. So you have this envision, and I use mine. So I have this envision of where I want my podcast to go and what I want to do tied to my purpose. Where I am is that I'm doing my podcast. Where I want to be is I want the podcast to evolve to something to where I can use it as a platform to speak. So that's where I am, realizing where I am. And then those steps, they vary, right? On what you take, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, being realistic about your budget on what you can do until you can do it full time.
Right. Right.
Because did you start your business on as like a side hustle, or you just went all into it?
So no, my first business that I still own today wasn't started as a side hustle. It was started as a business because I was, trying to get a job as an electrical engineer in Silicon Valley and couldn't get it. So I just need to have a paycheck, girl. And my motivation was needed to pay my rent, my car payment, my car insurance, my cable, my TV, my telephone, and put food in the groceries and have a little bit of money to go to the club with my girlfriends if you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so that's motivation.
Yeah, that was my only it was really but it right away just became super successful. Within 30 days it was beyond, and I didn't have it was all by default, really. It was default. But as the business grew and the clientele, the projects became larger, and then I realized I didn't have a destiny. It wasn't designed. It was created by default. So then I had to put things and processes in play. But me being girl, I grew up in the hood. The kind of business I know, I guess it can translate over because I'm looking at Jay-Z. It can translate over to you becoming a billionaire, but
what? It's possible. Look, it's possible. Hey,
But I
This
didn't
is true.
find that, right? You know, and there's so many people that we know that were one way and now they're just doing super well, but they took the skills that they learned there and transcended over. I didn't have those kind of skills like that. I mean, I saw it, I knew what was going on, but I didn't interpret it. And so I didn't have anything to put, like even any vision. Girl, I had no mission, no vision statement,
Mm,
goals and objectives. It was just hustling and grinding, trying to get these customers, pay these bills, make sure I pay payroll, took care of the P's and Q's and had a
right.
little bit of money left over. That's all it was. But as a business grew and the projects and stuff became larger, I realized I can't continue just to hustle and grind like I'm, living in the hood. I need to hustle and grind like I want my corporation, at that time the sole proprietor. Wanted my business to be seen out in the community because it's all about your look. You can be a crappy business but have a phenomenal look in your customers. And so as a small minority woman owned business, I know that I was playing in a world that with people that didn't look like me and was not my gender. And I needed to have a specific look and presentation of not only myself, but the business processes as well, so that these people would see me in a different light and someone that they would feel comfortable doing business with.
So you built those as you grew then, huh?
Yeah. So
Since
then it became, oh, well, I need to create a design. Well, how do I do that? Again, I engaged in a community of other like-minded women who were entrepreneurs, had way more successful businesses than me. One lady had an $858 million business and was willing to take time with me to help me
oh, that's
understand
great.
how she got to that point and some of the things that I was missing in my business. And then other people were just, the right connections for corporate attorney, tax accountant, human resources, insurance, all that kind of stuff, which is invaluable to have when you are building your business and creating your business and creating your destiny by design.
Oh, that's
Same
good.
health side, you need to have the right physician or the right practitioner, holistic or traditional allopathic, or the right team behind you when it comes to your health and well-being. If you have a holistic practitioner and you're working with a Western medicine doctor, that's fine. If you get your massages or you practice meditation or you have analysis, whether what your body type is, what your human design type is, all of that stuff helps you to create a plan for your health and well-being that leads you to getting there much more easily. And it doesn't matter if you are suffering with chronic health conditions, because even though some people get cured or have a transformation with their health, others learn to live more healthily with their condition, so they don't have so many exacerbations and challenges with managing it. It becomes a lot simpler, a lot easier when you have that guidance and create a plan of how you would love the health and well-being of your destiny to be designed. So it works on both ends.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of being able to network and be open about what you need. My grandmother used to say, "A closed mouth doesn't get fed," and she would also say, "Borrowed sense is
Oh,
better
it's the
than bought
best sense.
sense."
Oh, yes. Ooh. They must have been in the
Give it
same.
to me. Give it to me. I'm telling you.
I haven't
I'm
heard that
telling
before,
you.
but that is so true.
Yeah.
So true. Wow. I'm taking me back to my grandma. My grandmother was raised in Houston, Texas, and they had all kind of sayings.
Well, see, my Waco, Texas. So there you go.
Well then, okay, it's the Texas connection.
Yeah.
That's so fun. That's so funny.
Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that
Yeah,
beautiful? I
yeah.
mean, it's still true today.
Oh my
Um,
goodness, it is.
Thinking about, wisdom nuggets from my grandparents and aunt. Um, what do you think the role of resilience plays when you're thinking about your business and your not only your business but your development in your life and your goals and what you see? I think you have to have some form of resilience there. But I also think that sometimes our life episodes will build up that resilience in us. To the good or to the bad, just
Right.
depends. What are
I
your
think,
thoughts?
with resilience, to me, it's having to be able to be pliable, so to
Ah,
speak,
that's good.
without breaking. Sometimes people use resilience and persistence as the same thing, but they're not. You know, persistence is you give up. I mean, you keep going no matter what. You don't give up. You keep just look. If it's taking you millimeter by millimeter, you move forward. You're going to keep doing it. Eventually, those millimeters turns into centimeters and then meters, right? And
Right.
miles and all that kind of stuff, right? But that's being persistent. No matter what comes upon you, you continue to move forward. Resilience comes in the terms of when you need to be persistent, you need to be pliable. So it's like you need to ebb and flow, like the wind, so to speak, or like the waters. The ocean comes in. Sometimes it comes in with big waves and really hard, and then it rolls back out. And the next time it comes in, it might come in with a little softer waves or a little shallower waves, whatever. But resilience is being able to be pliable in the midst of being persistent, meaning
Mm.
meaning you don't let every little challenge break you, because once you're broken, you will stop.
That is
And
so good.
it becomes that much harder to continue on with this journey. Most people give up.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so good. Being pliable, while being persistent. And I would add being that's like being flexible. It's
Yeah.
like water. You got to go and be adaptable to your situation,
Yeah.
because it changes. Our life, our seasons in our life changes. Like we got the first quarter of your life, that's just your development stage. Second quarter, you just kind of figuring it out. And most of us are in this third quarter of our lifestyle, right? And some of us will be blessed to go on to that fourth quarter. But in the meantime, that third quarter, this is where, come on, you got to be mindful and keeping that vision
Yeah.
and whatever you have envisioned. And I tell people, now's the time. You need to be doing it, and I think you have to keep it in front of you,
Yeah.
in order to be mindful of it. And then lessons learned, right?
Oh, I say the third quarter is where the most lessons are learned.
Ah,
Um,
yes, I would say amen.
and I shouldn't say it like that to make it, because every quarter you learn lessons, right? But I think the third quarter is where some of the hardest lessons in life are learned. In addition to that, it's also the quarter where you learn how to deal most appropriately for yourself with
Yeah.
those hard lessons, right? Sometimes, you can have that lesson be repeated many times in this third quarter of life. But by the, I'm gonna say sixth or seventh time, you have learned so much more.
Hopefully.
Well, there's always, but the hope is that you have learned so much more than the first time. Hopefully
Yeah.
you're not repeating the same lesson that many times. Sometimes for me, the one time is good. If it's a hard lesson,
Oh, you
one
got one time. You got one time to get me. Now, if it's one of them where I was like, I don't really see it, by that second time, I'm like, and if it costs me,
yeah,
like the whole tax thing with you, oh yeah, I've been like, oh yeah, that won't happen again.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So it is interesting, but it's good. It's just our journey. I say we all walking down our path to bliss, and we gonna
Yeah.
have things that come up, right? Just in life in general, we all have a designated path.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to enjoy the journey, because
Yeah.
once you get to the destination, most likely you're gonna die,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And a whole nother
That is
assignment.
what's gonna happen. Yeah.
Exactly. So you're supposed to enjoy the journey. So as you're walking down your path to bliss, there's gonna be boulders that come up,
Mhm.
big mud puddles, big trees, all these little things that you have to figure out how to get. You may take a path to the left, you may detour and it takes you longer, but you get back on track, or you may but it's just your path, and it's a journey that we're supposed to enjoy. The good, the bad, and the ugly. But it's much more easier to enjoy the good than the bad and the ugly. I'm gonna say it.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
Yeah, it
It
is.
it is. It's always better to smell the roses than
Yeah,
to plant and get stuck by a thorn. You know, it's
But
always good.
I think Outkast had a song, "Roses Really Do Smell Like Poo Poo." You know, when they in one of the
They put the manure in.
so then, this other thing is like, okay, so I see those pretty roses, but every time I go over there, they don't really smell like roses. They smell like poo. Poo in the
Uh-huh.
baby rose. It's like, okay, well, now it's not the time to go smell the roses. Sit back and look.
Uh-huh.
And when that
Oh,
poo smell diminishes, then you go and you get to the rose and it smells so beautiful, right? Yeah.
that's good. That's good. Okay, and so we're coming short on time. Let me ask you this one question, and then I want you to close us out, Rochel.
Ooh,
If
okay.
you could think about a song that would describe this quarter of your life, what would you pick?
Oh, dang. Just one?
Ah, well, okay, so I'll give you 1 to 3.
Okay, so definitely I gotta go with my girl, Janet Jackson.
Okay.
I'm in control.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Um, I will say the next one that comes to mine is Alicia Keys. This girl's on fire. Girl
Woo!
on fire. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the third one, I think it's Mary J. Blige that sung this. Or maybe her album was titled this. I got the 411.
Oh, that's the old one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So those are the three that popped up in my head. But definitely, I've always Janet Jackson was the bombs. She was my hey,
Yeah, yeah,
girl, I want
yeah.
to try to. I say I tried to dance like her in the mirror, but I couldn't, and the
I
daughter
know.
couldn't sing. But I love Janet. So, and when she came out with I have a whole story behind the Control video. I have to share that with you next time. But when she came out with Control, I think we're almost about the same. She's almost my age.
Mhm,
Um, it was like I could totally relate, and that's kind of been my theme. But for
mhm.
sure, third quarter, I done figured some things out. I done lived. I done been through some things, right? So,
So you
you
could
know,
share that borrowed sense.
girl, yes.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. And
Hmm.
that's exactly what this session has been about. I really do appreciate your time. Um, because borrowed sense, if we could live within that spectrum where people like yourself or Rochel Marie has already been there, done that, and you could say, hey, let me, you're doing it wrong. Go this way. Hey, take these steps. Hey, this is going to help you. Hey, you dealing with high flight? Girl, take this. And
Hmm.
it'll change your life. But those networking and getting your community involved to not only help people, but bring them up to where you are. And then that's just like a domino effect. Because once that helped me, everybody knows about what happened in my life with them. I'm telling everybody.
See?
Everybody, girl, you too. Let me tell you. Let me send you a link real quick. This is what you need. But I think that's what it's all involved. So, I mean, I love your 3 choices because Janet Jackson, the original, go for it, hands down. She's
Hmm.
who started all. Janet Jackson was here before Beyonce. Props
Yeah.
to be, props to be,
The
but
Queen
Janet
Bee.
Jackson,
You can't take that away from Queen Bee, but
right. But Janet, let's
yeah.
keep Janet there. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mary J. Blige is almost I love her testimonies as she goes. Her songs are her testimonies, and she at any time when she's interviewed, she always tells you about where she's been.
Right.
So and she always
Yep.
acknowledges it. So
Yep.
and I really and that's how I think how she identifies with her audience too, and why people just
Yep.
love her.
Hmm.
I thought you were going to talk about her one of her albums called Good Morning Gorgeous, because I just did this session about self-worth, because sometimes we need to be reminded, girl, how good you look.
Yeah.
No, you don't look like this other one, but you do look good, you know?
Exactly.
So I just
Exactly.
wanted to bring that up.
If you don't value yourself, then how
Mm-hmm,
can you
mm-hmm.
expect somebody else to value you for
Right.
what you are worth? Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mary
Exactly.
J. Blige, girl.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, Rochel Marie, thank you so much for coming on Unfiltered Hummingbird with Camellia. I am so grateful for your insight. I am so grateful for what you have already done in my life personally.
Oh,
So I
thank
really
you.
appreciate it. And thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me as a guest. It was a pleasure being here. I had so much fun because I was just able to, wow, just truly be me. And so hopefully the listeners and people that see us will just be like, oh, they were on point, girl. They killed it. Okay, let me calm down because don't get it all wrapped up again. But Woosa.
This is what we do. This is where the healing starts, though, right?
Yes,
It's
it
where the
is.
healing starts.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Rochel Marie. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye.